Hello there, and welcome back to the channel. We are continuing Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is part 6, or well, we're finishing Obi-Wan Kenobi today, unless there's a season 2 at some point, which is something they have been talking about, but at this point in time, it's still a limited series, I am pretty sure. But before we get into it, just like the 3 previous Obi-Wan reactions, this video is sponsored by Orbit Key. Orbit Key has a really cool Star Wars collection at the moment with like a Star Wars themed collection. They have like a Palpatine, Obi-Wan, Grogu, Mandalorian Orbit Keys or key organizers. And then coming up this June 29th, they're going to be releasing a Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader key organizers, which of course that fits very well with this series. Can't really show any pictures of it just yet, but they're coming at least, and we've seen them and they look pretty damn awesome, just like the 4 others that we mentioned. And if you want to know more about it, then stick around until after the reaction, where we're gonna talk a little bit about it and show some pictures of the ones that you can buy now. And you can of course still use the code CATSUNNY10 to get 10% off your next purchase. But back to Obi-Wan. It's been a really interesting journey so far. Some ups and downs, you could say, when it comes to like the reception online, but we're not going to get into that. We're just going to focus on ourselves here and what we think of the series. And yes, we have definitely enjoyed it up until this point. Some stuff more than other stuff. But the way that the last one ended, it made me really curious about where they're going to go in this final episode. Besides the fact that I'm sure it's going to have something to do with Luke and Owen and Beru back on Tatooine, because that was sort of what they teased at the end. I have no idea what Reva is going to do, because, well, she did get stabbed by Vader, and she probably like dying, bleeding out, but we also know that characters, they can survive stuff like that inside of the Star Wars universe, especially dark side characters, if they really hold on to all that hate and anger and they just don't want to die. And she found that recording there from Bail, that was not the smartest thing to do, Bail, to just go like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Tatooine, and then, you know, the boy and Owen, and just mentioning all this stuff where it's like, dude, that's supposed to be a secret. And then I'm sure it's gonna involve Vader in some capacity here towards the end. Grand Inquisitor, we're still waiting for, you know, Qui-Gon to show up, or, you know, like Force Ghost Qui-Gon, because they've been teasing that throughout the series. Some other characters might show up, and yeah, probably hear it yeah, I'm excited about what they're gonna do here in the last one. Do you have anything you want to say before we jump into it?
Just the usual, I'm very pregnant disclaimer. I'm very tired. I am probably gonna be heating up during the reaction, so I'm just gonna completely melt.
Hopefully not.
Everything hurts, and there's a baby kicking in my insides. So, all fun and games.
All fun and games, yes. And this one is, I think it's about 45 minutes or something. So if you can hold out for that long, and then we can do a little break before we get into the discussion, I think that's a good idea. But anywho, let's jump into it. And you can, of course, always check out our full-length reactions, where you can sync up the footage with your own copy of the episode. We also have early reactions for Attack on Titan at the moment, where we are several episodes ahead compared to here on YouTube. It's all over on Patreon, and the link is down in the description below. And here we go. You're hunting him. Surprise! Oh yeah, really sad that we lost Tala, actually.
Yeah.
It's a good character. And we are already back on Tatooine.
Wait. Not cool, man.
Something you want to say?
I have something to say.
Wait your turn. You can have what's left when I'm...
Oh, okay. Wow. She just already made it there.
I'm looking for a farmer Name's Owen.
Yeah, and she already talked to Owen, so makes sense. Oh. Okay, they are not out of it yet.
No. It was something that they couldn't jump to hyperspeed. Or hyperspeed?
Lightspeed.
Lightspeed.
Hyperspace.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of the original score just there before.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
She keeps their minds off of it.
Maybe I should borrow her too.
What do you need, kid?
We need a new belt for the scooter.
Luke.
Somebody broke the last one.
Your uncle's a patient man.
I am not that patient.
There's something you need to know.
Yeah. We have a problem.
No, wait! You can't just leave me here!
I'm the one that Vader wants. If I go, he will follow.
I'm not letting you!
Leia, please. You are all the future. You are the future. You're what needs to survive.
No.
Leia.
I find she needs to be given space. Just
You must promise me that you'll get her home, Haja.
you have my word.
Good. Keep it.
Although I know the word of a liar and a fake Jedi may not mean much to you.
It's good enough for me.
Sometimes all you need is people to trust in you.
Yeah. And Obi-Wan is definitely starting to trust people again.
We need help.
I'm not putting anyone else in danger, Owen. We're enough. You and me. She'll come when the suns go down. Best we get positioned now.
She is
Yeah, the Rue does not.
determined.
Yeah, she does not mess around. I love that.
I talked to her. You're welcome.
I have something for you. She would have wanted you to.
Oh.
It's empty.
Well, I wasn't going to give you a blaster. You're 10 years old.
Somebody could learn something from that.
But you won't always be.
Come back. Please.
I promise.
Oh, he will.
I have to face him, Master. Whether he dies or I do, this ends today.
It's about you and him.
Just keep them safe. There are not many leaders left. People follow you. Don't stop.
Just getting started.
Yeah, I hope we're gonna see Roken again at some point.
Nice, yeah.
Maybe in the Andor series. Would make sense.
We cannot prioritize one lone Jedi.
He is not just any Jedi. Follow Kenobi.
At once, Lord Vader.
Predictable.
If anything goes wrong, you know what to do. You run.
I'm not afraid.
I know. Everything's
You will be. You will be. Oh, where's he going?
Prepare my ship. I will face him alone.
Oh, Lola.
Did she sneak her or sneak it with him? I think.
Possibly.
It's time.
What's the plan, Reba?
Kill the Owens, get the boy.
The Owens? The losses?
The last. Tired.
But to what end? To lure out Obi-Wan and then thereby Vader again?
No, I just think it's Vader that she wants to get, right?
Yeah, but Vader follows Obi-Wan, so that could be... We'll see. Oh, that's a great shot.
Have you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan?
I will do what I must.
Then you will die.
definitely doing better than last time.
Yeah.
Don't go away.
How is she not suffering from that wound?
Well, she must be. She's just hiding it really well. Ooh. Oh shit.
Your strength has returned.
Yeah, no shit.
But the weakness still remains.
Don't let him throw stuff at you. Oh!
And that is why you will always lose.
Ooh, shit. Oh, fuck.
Oh no, now he has high ground.
He has the high ground, yeah. Oh, damn. He is mad.
Did you truly think that you could defeat me? You have failed, Master.
Still calling him master. Ah, shit.
You really love the boy, like he's your own.
He is my own.
Ooh! Fuck yes, Owen. This is not... Run, Luke, run!
You cannot run.
Focus on the good. Focus on the hope. Yes!
Sneaky.
Yeah. Oh, that move. Whoa! Obi-Wan. Damn. Whoa. Such a good fight. Oh!
Oh, that was hurt?
Yeah.
He's basically taking out his live aid, right?
Yeah. Oh, shit. He got him in the face. Are we gonna get a scene similar to Rebels? With the one with Ahsoka? Yeah.
Anakin. Anakin's gone. I am what remains.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Anakin. For all of it.
I am not your failure,
Obi-Wan.
They're doing the voices.
You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did.
And my friend is truly dead. Goodbye, Darth.
He didn't say Anakin. Damn, you guys. Oh, Oh shit. Okay, yeah, and he feels it. Luke is in danger. Get there as soon as you fucking can. As quickly as you fucking can. Oh, she sees herself.
Ben!
Oh, she brought him back. Okay, I actually think I really understand the purpose of Reva's character now. Yeah, we'll see.
I couldn't do it. I failed them.
You haven't failed them by showing mercy. You have given them peace. You have honored them.
Have I become him?
No.
No, you have chosen not to.
Yeah.
Who you become now, that is up to you.
Reva
Now
lives.
you're free. We both are.
Oh. Back to Mustafa.
We will destroy everything in our path until he is found.
Who is he?
You seem agitated.
Hey!
He will not obey me.
Perhaps your feelings for your old master have left you weakened.
Oh.
If your past cannot be overcome,
Kenobi means nothing. I serve only you, my master.
Oh. And there we go with the Imperial March. Been waiting for that. Ian McDermott. I was wondering if he was gonna pop up. A little cameo.
Yeah.
As Palpatine. I'm glad he did. The gloves. And, oh yeah. What are you gonna put in it?
You said there were many ways to lead.
Looks like I was right.
If I'm going to do this, I'm going to want to change a few things.
Then let's change things together.
So who is it today? More cousins?
Not exactly.
It's, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought she was gonna be more happy to see Obi-Wan, but alright.
Well, if you ever need my help again, you know where to find me.
Let's hope that day never comes.
It will.
What do you do now?
I don't know. What do you think I should do?
I think you should sleep.
It deserves a good nap.
Mm-hmm.
Princess Leia Organa, you are wise, discerning, kind-hearted. These are qualities that came from your mother. But you're also passionate and fearless, forthright. And these are gifts from your father. Both were exceptional people who bore an exceptional daughter.
Will I ever see you again?
Maybe. Someday, if you ever need help from a tired old man. But we must be careful. No one must know, or it could endanger us both.
Goodbye. Obi-Wan.
Goodbye, Princess. May the Force be with you.
And then the Force theme. Amazing what a little piece of music can do. Oh.
Where are you off to?
It's gonna find somewhere else to live. Somewhere that isn't a cave.
The only protection he needs now, Owen, is you and Beru. Take good care of him.
I will. Ben? You want to meet him?
This fucking episode.
Hello there.
I was just about to say it. Oh, and the delivery of that line as well. So Alec Guinness.
Oh.
Oh.
There he is.
Well, took you long enough.
Beginning to think you'd never come.
I was always here, Obi-Wan. You just were not ready to see. Come on, you've got a ways to go.
That's all we needed. Yep. That was amazing. Oh, they really wow. They really got me there. Got you a little bit as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Let's let it sink in and then we'll talk about it, of course. But that was part 6, the series finale or season finale. However, yeah, whatever they choose to do there, I think it still works best as a limited series. I don't see what they would do, like necessarily with a season 2. Besides maybe showing us some more of the training there with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon we got at the very end. But yeah. They definitely wrapped it up here, and they stuck the landing very well, I think. But before we get into the discussion, as I mentioned up top, we're going to talk a little bit about the sponsor of the video, Orbit Key. Orbit Key introduces the Star Wars Orbit Key collection. Make the jump to hyperspace with 4 limited edition key organizers from a galaxy far, far away. Feel the Force or awaken your dark side. Orbit Key introduces the Star Wars Orbit Key collection featuring 4 designs inspired by iconic characters. From the original trilogy to The Mandalorian, the Star Wars galaxy is filled with endless stories and timeless characters. Inspired by the iconic heroes and villains, these limited edition key organizers celebrate Star Wars in Orbit Key's elegant and understated design language.
Whether trekking through the unforgiving dunes of Tatooine or aboard the technological terror that is the Death Star, this collection will help you stay organized in a galaxy far, far away. Journey to the Outer Rim on a galactic adventure that begins with 4 key organizers inspired by Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, Grogu, and Emperor Palpatine.
Orbit Key is a lifestyle brand helping people live better lives through clever and innovative organization solutions. It started in 2013 with a simple idea to solve the frustration of carrying messy keys. With the support of the crowdfunding community, the first Orbit Key organizer was brought to life. Since then, Orbit Key has launched 6 Kickstarter campaigns, raising over $3.25 million US.
Today, Orbit Key is proud to be climate neutral certified, with a team of 31 passionate individuals based in Melbourne, Australia. As they constantly strive to redefine the way we organize, the product range has since grown to help people organize more than just their keys.
So again, if you're interested in some of these Star Wars themed key organizers or just any products from Orbit Key, then you can use the discount code CATSUNNY10 to get 10% off your next purchase. And also want to mention again that on June 29th, they're going to release some more Star Wars related key organizers with the Obi-Wan and Darth Vader versions. So yeah, that is definitely coming, and you can again, yeah, use that code to get those 10% off if you want. And thank you so much to Orbit for sponsoring these Obi-Wan Kenobi reactions. Yeah, really, really, really appreciate it. And their products are awesome. So go look at them. You can find links down in the description below. But okay, yeah, let's get back to what happened inside of this one. Ooh, it really gave me everything I wanted, I think, from this series.
I just think it's a bit late.
Yeah.
Or what, like...
It took a little while to get here, and because what I felt watching this and watching, this, I broke down several times during this one. Like, that's what I was really expecting. Like, I was expecting to tear up and all that, because, well, this stuff means so much to me. But it didn't really happen until this episode. I think maybe, like, I got sort of emotional in the third episode when they met for the first time, Vader and Obi-Wan. But yeah, I have to say that, like, this is one of the rare cases where I think this story, it would have worked better as a movie. Not necessarily a movie that, they put out in cinemas or anything like that, but maybe just a Disney Plus movie, still put it out like that. Because, yeah, and I'm also fairly certain that it was a movie to begin with, the script, and then they sort of turned it into a limited series and put some extra stuff in there where, yeah, that it sort of dragged out the story in points, in episodes, and then we got a few episodes where it left some people like very disappointed online. And not that I wasn't like very disappointed or anything like that, but
but
it took the air out of like the anticipation for this series and the excitement for it a little bit, like, during. And I, again, didn't get to feel what I was expecting to feel until the very last episode, the very last part. But then, like, that, it really, really, really delivered. And I'm also sort of happy or glad that, like, this is the last video, this is the last reaction that we're gonna do here in this apartment with this setup, and it being, well, this, that's I really like that. Almost, I don't know what to say necessarily, but it makes me feel good that this is the last thing that we watched here, and it's sort of like the end of an era for us when it comes to this apartment and moving and all that. So personally, that means a lot. But hey, we start out the episode at least with, of course, them still escaping. I thought that maybe they'd gotten away and jumped into to Lightspeed, like right after escaping the planet Jabim, but they were still being pursued by Vader. And yeah, they had to do something, or Obi-Wan thought that they definitely had to do something. So he wanted to lure them away because he knows that Vader only wants him. And then we got to see like all the people there that he rescued, and they are some very brave people, and of course they've been working for about 10 years to save Jedi and save Force sensitive people and children. So they're willing to like risk it all for someone like Obi-Wan, and they really want him to survive. They don't want him to sacrifice himself, and yeah. I thought that was just really nice to see, like, how they reacted to him and during that whole situation.
Yeah, and the whole notion of the whole short back and forth they had there, where he was like, well, yeah, it's very nice that you want us all to be together and do this, but you are the future.
Yeah.
And you have to keep doing this.
Yes, don't stop.
And yeah, and that was also to Roken as well. Like, you don't stop doing this. We need this.
Yes.
But I'm just an old man. I'm just an old Jedi. Like, I'm one person.
Yes.
But if we lose you,
You're a
the
leader.
path.
Yeah.
And
Roken,
if you lose you people,
Mm-hmm.
so like everyone aboard,
Yeah.
we basically lose
hope,
the future.
Mm.
Because and that's the thing. It's a point in many stories that children and younger people, that they are the future.
Yes,
and
yes.
that is who you are supposed to protect, because they're the future.
Exactly.
And it makes sense because it's the offspring, and to secure and I get very technical here, but to secure the survival of the species, you have to secure your offspring.
Okay.
So
yes, and then put into the Star Wars universe, if you want to secure the future for people who aren't, willing to just live under the thumb of the Empire, then
anyone.
people like them, like the people from the Path and Leia in particular, and also someone like Roken. Yeah, they are the future. They need to survive more than Obi-Wan does. So yeah, that was really beautiful, and that's at least a big takeaway from this series, and the progression of Obi-Wan's character, where he had lost all hope and he wasn't willing to risk anything or help anyone at the beginning of the series, and then he meets these people, and of course he gets to go on this journey with Leia, and they saved him. Like, it completely changed his outlook on the future and just having hope again. So yeah, that was extremely important, and I thought they wrapped that up nicely.
Yeah, and in every fairy tale, there's a travel, like there's an adventure that our hero has to go on.
Yes.
And this is just serving like as a physical adventure, yes, but it's a metaphor for the mental adventure, or the mental development, the mental travel that you're going through. And I think that was pretty clear from throughout this whole season, the whole series in general. Actually, this was just like one big there and back again for Obi-Wan, but and it served like on different levels. So it served as like the physical part of it, where he had to go out to kind of develop or progress as a person.
He had to go on this journey, and then that made him also go on a more like internal journey as well to find himself again. Yeah, definitely. The hero's journey, which is something it's very Star Wars, or something that inspired George Lucas to begin with, and they keep using that with a lot of the same themes and tropes and whatnot. But that's what Star Wars is. Yeah,
it works. There's a reason why it's a trope and it's been used so many times, because it works. That's what made me fall in love with Star Wars the first time around. It's like this hero's journey. So I was 19, I think, and I recently watched Kung Fu Panda, and I absolutely loved it. And then I saw the original trilogy for the first time since I was so small I couldn't remember anything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was just like, the story in this is just so fantastic. Yeah, it's so amazing, and because there was a lot of universal as well. Yeah, exactly. But there was so many parallels just between Kung Fu Panda and this one, right?
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of George Lucas was very inspired by, especially Japanese westerns and Japanese like samurai
movies.
And
stuff
he was like that.
Inspired by a lot. Yeah,
and. Well, I would say that with Kung Fu Panda, it's basically there was also, I think it was more Chinese inspired, but I think there's some of the same roots there. Yes,
those universal storytelling aspects that's a part of many of the stories that we enjoy, and that we're seeing again and again, and as you're saying, like, it's because it works. It's a very it's a story that many people can relate to, this like the hero's journey and going on, like, on this travel to like become something else and something more, or find hope. And yeah, it's great how they did that. Yeah,
the whole climax basically for his character is when he goes to that planet to fight Anakin.
Yes.
And we had this fantastical fight.
Wow. Really, whoa. That was, I thought that, because we got a somewhat of a fight in the third episode, in part 3, where Vader just whooped Obi-Wan's ass. And then we also got a little flashback scene in the previous one between Anakin and Obi-Wan back, before the Clone Wars and all that, even like before Attack of the Clones. And I don't I was not sure where it was taking place. Like last time I talked about, I wasn't sure where, like there was like the most obvious clue right there on the screen, the fact that Anakin still had both hands. So of course it's before Attack of the Clones, where he gets the right hand lopped off by Count Dooku. So yeah, that was just, I don't know why I didn't see that. But then that was really awesome, and you can see like Ewan and Hayden, they're so good at this stuff, and they enjoy doing that together as well. And then we get to this one, and that was just on a whole other level, the way that they did that fight and choreographed it, and they upped the ante all the way through, and you could definitely see how Obi-Wan, he got his strength back, as Vader also said, and used the Force way more. Same did Vader, and like it was brutal at times. Just, yeah, that I'm looking forward to rewatching that fight again and again and again. That was so well done. And yeah, sorry.
And the whole like the symbolism in all of it, because that's me.
Yes,
I'm looking to this stuff.
Yeah, sucker for symbolism.
Yep. So we have these two people, and this fight is like where previously Obi-Wan was handed to him. But this time he definitely, he got some of that strength back, yes. Then when it looked like Darth had the upper hand, and this is where the distinction between them comes in, because where Anakin completely gave in to the dark side, we see how you use the light side, because Darth is using anger and all of this, dark side shit.
Yeah, anger and hate and focusing on the past.
Yeah, and then we see these flashes that Obi-Wan is. So he, as you said, hope, future, all of this like good stuff, and that ultimately gave him the strength to keep on going, and it actually gave him the upper hand. Yeah. And that's why the light side will always win, because it's about hope, and like it's not this feeling of despair and anger. It's not like all this negative stuff that actually drags you down. And yes, it's very, it can give you so much power, like unlimited power. And yes, that was
unlimited power.
Yes, that was intended. But ultimately, and that's what Star Wars has always told us throughout history, is that hope and like all of this, like the prospects, like all of this is what ultimately wins.
Yes, it's a fight between good and evil, and it's a very black and white in that way. But that is again what Star Wars is, and the stories that they've been telling. It's very clear what is, this is the right way, the good way, the light side, and then we have, this is wrong, this is the dark side. Yes. Don't do like Vader, do like Obi-Wan.
Yes. And then we have like the pinnacle of Obi-Wan's emotional damage, because we saw how much he was so bothered by what happened in the past, and he felt so much guilt that his friend, his brother, he felt like he failed him. Yeah. And now comes like the pinnacle, the emotional pinnacle of his story, is where Anakin, or Darth, when he gets that he sees him, and he suddenly sees him from what he is, right? Like he sees him as this, like he's hurt, but he while he sees Anakin, Darth is then saying, I'm not Anakin anymore. I'm Darth Vader. I'm fully Darth Vader. And no, you did not fail me. I killed me.
Yeah.
I killed Anakin. I was the one.
Yes. And that falls in line with what he says in A New Hope, like straight up. And again, it's a matter of perspectives and all that, as he then says later on. But Darth Vader killed your father, Luke.
Yes. And
that is what happened.
Exactly. And that's also because I will get to Reva later, but they're basically on the same kind of journey, these two people, because it's the same person that basically fucked them up, but in two different ways.
Yeah.
But this ultimately makes him, as I even he did say, like, we are free now. We are free.
Yeah.
So Darth basically, or Anakin basically sets Obi-Wan free of his guilt, free of his, all of this he has been carrying around, like the guilt, the pain, all of this despair, losing his friend, living with that. And suddenly he gets like, well, because, you didn't fail him, Obi. You did everything you could. And you tried, like, even in this last, like, moments of their meeting, he suddenly sees him for what he is, and he's just like, well, this is no longer Anakin, and I don't have to finish off this because it's not me.
Anakin is probably gone, and he called him Darth in the end. Just said Darth, and again that connects to A New Hope, where he also just calls him Darth, like, you can't win, Darth. So some great connections there, and I also mentioned it while we were watching it, that I was waiting for them to do something like that, where Obi-Wan could truly see Anakin or Vader, and they really did it like they did in Rebels, where it's then between Vader and Ahsoka, and she kind of cuts him across the mask, just like Obi-Wan did, where you see like the split there between like the mask of Vader and then Anakin, the beaten, destroyed man underneath. And you also get those, like, combining the voices of Anakin and Vader. And they did so that cool. So well inside of this one. And just like with Rebels, where I cried my eyes out watching that. Same thing happened here, because it was so powerful, the performances from both of them. I think I would say that even though we didn't get as much Hayden in this series as we did in the prequels, and it was more Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan who took the center stage, but I would say that Hayden redeemed himself a little bit, at least for me.
Yes.
I know you've been very vocal about what you think about the performances acting wise in the prequels, Hayden, and especially from Hayden, but I think he did such a good job in this one, and especially that last scene just before Obi-Wan walked away. Wow, so well done.
Yeah, and then we cut to Tatooine.
And then there's, all the stuff going on Tatooine. And we have been talking about, and I'm sure many of you guys have been talking about, both online and just amongst yourselves, or with friends and family, like, what is the purpose of Reva in this story? And I think I finally see it, as I said, here in the last episode. What Reva sort of represents is that you can come back from this if you fall to the dark side, and you can rise above it again. You can free yourself from all this anger and hate, and it is going to be interesting to see where Reva goes from here, because I was expecting for her to die inside of this series, because we don't see her afterwards, but there's still some time before we get to the original trilogy, and like she can go far, far away and just not be a part of anything. But what's the journey she went on as a character?
But that was the same thing, as I said. Like, it was the same man who
yes,
caused this distress in these two people.
Yes, and they reacted. They reacted very differently to it as well.
Yeah.
But it stemmed from like the same sort of trauma caused by the same person. Almost.
Yeah, or at least like where Obi-Wan's trauma or fears were rooted in, I was the one who made him.
Yes, I was the one who failed in the moment.
By making him. And then we have Reva, where it's like, because what she ends up saying is to say, did I become him?
Yeah.
And that's her fear all along, that in her strive to revenge.
Yeah, or justice, as she said, yeah.
Yeah. Then she was afraid to become like him.
Yeah.
And perhaps, she was just so blinded by the dark side that she didn't see that she was kind of becoming him. And suddenly when she realized that, and that was when, that was the whole back and forth when she saw herself lying there.
Yeah.
That was her finally realizing, wait, all of this revenge, all of this, like, I call it justice, but it's actually revenge.
Yeah.
And this innocent kid, he does not deserve this.
Yeah. I might, if I kill this kid and lure out Obi-Wan, that will then lure out Vader again. I'll get another chance to maybe get my revenge or get this justice that I want. But if I do it, then I will become what I am, fighting against. So we don't want that either. And it sort of disproves something that Yoda said at one point, with like, once you start down the path, the dark path, dark side, forever will it dominate your destiny? Not necessarily. Like you can.
No, and I think it's a very important lesson as well. Like,
and that's where I think like that was the purpose of Reva inside of this, and also for Obi-Wan to see something like that, where he can also go, maybe there is hope for Anakin, because that was still something that Vader said in Return of the Jedi to Luke. Obi-Wan once thought as you did, when Luke was like, no, there's still good in you. So that's also important for Obi-Wan to get to that point. I still don't know necessarily how then Vader learns that Obi-Wan thinks there's good in him, because the way they left things off at the end of the fight was sort of like Obi-Wan finally saying, goodbye, Anakin, you're gone.
But he says Obi once thought. And I think perhaps that might actually be back from the prequels, when...
Yeah, perhaps. But then he was also like, just only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must.
But yeah, well, George Lucas is notoriously known for him going against his own.
Yeah. Like this whole thing with like, oh, it's breaking canon and it doesn't fit with what happens here or what they say there, and it's like it's been doing that all the way through. Like I recently, just as an example, I rewatched like a Clone Wars episode where Ahsoka meets Chewbacca. And Chewbacca like interacts with Ahsoka and several other Jedi and sees them use the Force and all of that. And that doesn't necessarily jive so well with like later on when Han is like, there's no such thing as the Force, never heard about it, never seen it. Wouldn't Chewbacca be like, no, dude, I've actually seen it. Let me tell you about it. And he also met Yoda and saw Jedi in action on Kashyyyk in episode 3. So just beyond that, like it doesn't have to like fit together perfectly, for me at least, and I'm guessing for you as well. I know there's some people out there where it's, really want.
I'd rather when people are just like, there are inconsistencies, deal with it, rather than people grasping at straws to make some sort of like stupid connections, like, so it makes sense all of a sudden. I just rather want, it's like, it doesn't make sense. Well, it's just the way it is, man.
Yeah. And then, as you say, like, sometimes you can explain it, but do you really have to? And yada, 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 back and forth. But it doesn't ruin anything. For me, at least. Like, if they had, like, killed Luke or something here in this episode, of course, that would have made me go, like, well, now you screwed the pooch. Like, that's...
Yeah. But that didn't happen.
No, of course
survived?
not. He survived. And it's so good. Like, I'm so glad that Joel Edgerton and Bonnie P.S., I think that's her name, they got some more screen time here inside of this episode.
But it was not enough. Like, when I saw him both in, like, the first episode and then in this one, I was like, oh, damn, I really like him as an actor and as a character. And I was just so angry that we didn't have more. Like, that's one of the many gripes I have with this. It's just like, I really wanted to see more of him. It was nice to see him, but I really wanted more.
Yeah. And maybe more of, like, this interaction between Owen and Luke and Beru, and then, of course, Obi-Wan. But it left me satisfied from what we got from this episode, and Owen and Beru's willingness to just really, like, they will protect this kid with everything they got, everything they have, and they see him as their own. And I really, really like that. Oh, and I also quickly want to return to the scene where Obi-Wan was, like, buried under all the rubble, and Vader had the high ground for a minute there. And at first he was focusing on the past and hearing all of this stuff from Anakin and Vader, and like we've seen several times throughout the series. And every time it happened, like, he sort of lost hope and lost, like, the will to move on. But as you then said, he stopped thinking about that and focused on hope, future, Leia, Luke, these people that has given him hope again and giving him that will to fight and move on. Then that was just so powerful. So I just wanted to highlight that again, just thematically, and what they did throughout the series, and then how it turned out there. And how he used that to become the Obi-Wan that we know.
And then all these small snippets of the original soundtrack.
Yes, that's something that they did not do that throughout the series. It was mostly original music, and I've, like, heard a lot of people talking about how they were sort of disappointed in that. And I have to admit that I was sort of disappointed in that as well, because I thought that, like, they could just sprinkle it in there throughout, just like the composer Kevin Kiner, who did, like, the music for the animated series. Like, he's really good at doing that. So I was missing that a little bit from the series, but now I understand why they didn't do it, because it
impact.
Yes, the impact that it then had inside of this episode was just so much stronger. So yeah, I'm glad they waited with, like, the Imperial March and like the Force theme until
Leia's theme.
And Leia, until it was really, like, earned and just yeah.
And then, speaking of Leia's theme, because then he actually returned with Lola.
Yes.
And had that whole wonderful
talk
with her, where
beautiful.
Yeah, where he said, well, you got these amazing qualities from your mother and these amazing qualities from your father.
Yes.
And even, well, I know that was early on, but she got that holster, and yeah, that was just
she's becoming the Leia that we know and love, who's gonna fight for hope and freedom in the future.
And that's when the impact of then the Leia's theme coming in, like, this is like, she has also gotten to a point where she is on the path to becoming her. Yeah. And how he kind of affected her way there.
And she did the same to him. So they really helped each other and promised that, if anything happens, they're gonna help each other again in the future, if that day comes. And of course it will come. And I, to me, that it still makes sense that Leia really knows Obi-Wan or Ben Kenobi, and also makes her reaction in A New Hope make a lot more sense when Luke is like, I'm here with Ben Kenobi, and she's like, Ben Kenobi? Where is he? Like, she knows him. She loves the guy.
Yeah.
And she has probably missed him at that point a lot and was like, oh, can't believe he's here. And then, of course, the sad thing happened, and he sacrificed himself and became a Force ghost. That takes us to the end of this finale, where we finally got it. Liam Neeson back as Qui-Gon Jinn. And like, yeah, you weren't ready for this, buddy, until this point.
No.
But now you're finally here. I'm finally here. Move forward together. We have a long way to go.
But that was also one of the things we learned, or one of the quotes from earlier on, right? That you can't see the path. So basically, like, you can't see. I can't remember. Sorry, I can't remember. I've so bad with quotes, but like
I can't remember the precise quote as well. But I'm sure you guys know what quote we're talking about.
It was
on
about
the wall there.
Yeah. And as I also kind of alluded to back then, it was about Obi-Wan kind of having to set his, or at least come to terms with his own struggles, to actually clear the path, so he is able to see it.
Yeah.
And well, that was also kind of what I was alluding to, that will lead him to Qui-Gon, and there he was.
It wasn't until he let go of the past and all of that trauma there, and how he blamed himself, that he was ready to see Qui-Gon and then move forward and become the most amazing Jedi. Like, if you've seen Clone Wars, or not Clone Wars, sorry, Rebels, like when we see him again with Maul on Tatooine, and the person he has become at that point, the Jedi he has become, is just, now he's on that path. And that was an amazing ending to the series. I'm glad they also waited with that until the very end, because then it's so earned, and it has way more of an impact. Seeing those two together, hearing all of that, and also hearing him say finally, "Hello there." Yeah, I'm so happy, you guys. This, even though, as I said, I think it would have worked better as maybe a movie, or if they did like 3 long parts instead of, I don't know. There was some stuff throughout that didn't work as well for me, but the finale here really stuck the landing, and it gave me everything that I wanted. Don't know about you.
Yeah, approximately the same. Yeah.
Yes.
There was a reason why I cried.
Yeah, same. And we also get one last scene with Vader on Mustafar. And someone pointed this out. I think it was probably Alex Damon from Star Wars Explained, that when first we get to Mustafar inside of this series with Vader, and you see like all the lava is kind of just like boiling up and exploding all over the place, and that's like a metaphor-ish for like what Vader is feeling, where he is at that point. Like he's still thinking also very much about the past and Obi-Wan and all of that, and wants to track him down, and his emotions, or what he's feeling like this. That's what you see with Mustafar and the lava and all that. That's like sort of what's going on inside of him. And then here towards the end, it looked like it has sort of quiet down a little bit, and that falls in line with him completely devoting himself in the end to Palpatine and being like, nope, there's nothing more there. I don't feel anything for Obi-Wan. I am devoted to you. You're my master. And then that is the Vader that we know then moving forward. And then, of course, we got Ian McDiarmid back as Palpatine. Just a small scene, but really impactful nonetheless.
Yeah, and that again, that's when the Imperial theme
Yes.
plays again with the impact.
Yeah.
That this is again how we go from, at least, or partly how we go from who they are before in the prequels, and now like bridging the gap between the characters.
Yes.
And
so bridging like with the characters, with the themes and the music, like it all connected very well in the end here to what comes later, timeline wise in the original trilogy. So yeah, beautiful. Can't believe it's over. I've been looking forward to this series for so long, and now it's over. But we're gonna, of course, get way more Star Wars stuff in the future, and I'm gonna do my best to cover as much of it as I can here on the channel. Moving forward, gonna be a little bit busy very, very soon with the baby coming and all, and of course the whole moving into a new house. But yeah, for me at least,
you'll do your best to cover it. Yeah,
I'll do my best to cover it, and I think the future of Star Wars is still looking very, very bright. But do you have anything you want to add to it?
No, I think we covered all the bases.
I think we covered all the bases well. It ended up being a way longer discussion than I thought it would be. But now I got all of that out of our system, and just could go on and on and on about how.
Yes, so let's not.
Yeah, I'm just so happy, so satisfied.
I know.
Thank you guys so much for watching these reaction and following along on this little journey here with Obi-Wan Kenobi. And now there's not much else to say, but may the Force be with you always. Bye.
Bye.